Screech arrested after alleged stabbing. Saved by the Bell star, Dustin Diamond was charged with the use of a dangerous weapon and carrying a concealed weapon. Switchblade found. Speaking of switchblades, this next story is surely going to puncture a hole in the rap game. Eminem comes out as gay in an interview with Sony. Remember promoting another black rapper's career while dodging questions about your sexuality? How about the lyric, "My back's against the wall. When push comes to shove, I just stand up and scream, fuck 'em all." Well, it turns out his stomach was up against the wall, pants down, and he was getting fucked by 'em all. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about, man, slaying cops should have been white. New details about threats against the NYPD have emerged in the wake of last week's fatal shooting of two NYC officers, arrests made. Who wants white people slain? Black people who feel injustice has been done to Michael Brown and Eric Garner. The black protesters who destroy cities and, like that gang of blacks, beat that white guy to death with hammers. So one of the blacks in Wisconsin heard about the Michael Brown case, so he went up to the Wisconsin bar Dustin Diamond was at. He wanted to start some trouble. Dustin Diamond ended up defending his life, and that's really all there is to it. Moving on, I was listening to Rush Limbaugh, and he said the new dean of religion at Stanford is an LGBT activist and a lesbian. And obviously, she's going to preach about how same-sex is okay. You know how some people cheat. They have a wife and a mistress. Because of this new lesbo dean of religion and the gay lifestyle sleeping around, she'll convince the male students of completely forgetting the concept of mistresses. They're going to have mistresses, having a man to cheat with instead of a woman. We're going to talk yet again about Bill Cosby's accusation of rape. It all started with Bill Cosby asking fans to make an internet meme out of him, which backfired, of course, and the memes that were made were about him raping ladies. If I may quote one of these said memes, get ready to laugh your heads off, liberals. Quote, "I love pudding. My dick where it doesn't belong." Unquote. Ha ha ha. Now, if you want to talk about things that don't belong, let's start with a Muslim in the White House. Let's also mention a black attorney general for the Department of Justice. Let's also mention Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson being qualified as black leaders. That doesn't belong. Look on YouTube. After you're done watching my video, look up Jesse Jackson gets called out, because he did. And if a dick doesn't belong anywhere, it's in another man's ass. This incident involving Screech must put a piercing reminder to all of us that this happened under the Obama administration. Eric Holder is having borders racist, so we have no border, and the Islamic extremists come over, the peaceful Muslims come over, and then from knives, chainsaws, cars, people die. A black protester upset about Michael Brown, or a Muslim Islamic extremist, started the fight with Dustin Diamond. North Korea's internet went out for a couple hours after the North Korean government used a racially charged slur against President Obama. The word was monkey, and I agree, because the Mexican drug cartel has our weapons, ISIS has our weapons. He had the nerve to insult Christians with defending his agency by quoting the good book, the Bible, with a quote that's not even in the Bible. He's always starting with some shit. I got this off Yahoo News as usual. Neil deGrasse Tyson responds to critics of his controversial Christmas statements. The famed scientist is under fire for making statements his critics said belittled Christmas and shows a lack of respect for Christians, which included a tweet that recognized the birthday of revolutionary physicist and mathematician Isaac Newton on Christmas Day. Quote, "On this day, long ago, a child was born who, by age 30, would transform the world. Happy birthday, Isaac Newton." B. December 25th, 1642, Degrassi tweeted. Among other statements, quote, "My sense in this case is that the high rate of retweets is not to share my enthusiasm with this fact, but is driven by accusations that the tweet is somehow anti-Christian. He wrote on Facebook, "If a person actually wanted to express anti-Christian sentiment, my guess is that alerting people of Isaac Newton's birthday would appear nowhere on the list." Degrassi said that he received requests to delete the tweet, but instead of doing so, he tried the logical approach with his critics. Imagine a world in which we are all enlightened by objective truths rather than offended by them. I'm sick of this shit. A Texan resident staying in a hotel put up a flag of the United States and had to take it down because it offended a Muslim. A veteran was threatened with losing his home and a fine if he didn't take down his flag. This is America. If anything, Christianity should be the religion which is offended, but whenever we get offended, we just have to grow a pair. Subway had to remove bacon from 200 stores because Muslims don't eat it. You self-loathing liberals who aren't proud to be American, if you hate yourselves, why don't you kill yourselves? You're all ruining this country for actual proud Americans. You selfish fucking pricks. You liberals with your extreme PC makes it impossible to say or do anything. Gun control, we can't defend ourselves. Basically, you're ignoring our existence as human beings. And I want to say American lives matter. According to a Mark Dice video, TGI Fridays in restaurants around hovers mistletoe over customers' heads. CNBC headlines it, TGI Fridays drone delivery bloody mistletoe mischief. What had happened was a drone crashed into a woman, slicing out the tip of her nose, and all I have to say about that is TGIF. Thank God it's a flesh wound. You know, divorce can be a very depressing thing, especially for a comedian, and I feel obligated to say it can leave one between a rock and a hard place, because Chris Rock and his wife Malik are splitting up after 20 years. Anyway, moving on. Moving on to an article from Yahoo News. 7 things I can do but my black son can't. I want to get to number 2, which is when my wife, who is black, received her acceptance letter from Boston College, a peer told her she must have gotten it due to affirmative action, effectively ruining the experience of receiving the letter. What experience? Let me tell you. My cousin got a college degree. He was learning to be a computer mechanic. And you know where he's working? Up at UPS. So keeping that in mind, the only experience is after receiving the letter, or for the rest of your life, trying to pay off the college that didn't help you in your career. If that's the experience, I'm not going to be ashamed to tell you I would gladly take affirmative action. And if you say you're too proud to take a free education, that's not a case of too much pride, it's a case of too much stupidity. If it were viable to me, but since it's not, I'm white. So Democrats have to stop making affirmative action viable to black people so white people won't assume that they did use the program in the first place. Barack Obama used affirmative action, and I'm not going to be one of those guys who's like, how did Barack Obama go to private school in Hawaii and Harvard if he was a poor kid growing up in Indonesia? I'm going to say Obama is a powerful figure, and when he said our gay brothers and sisters should be treated like equal, it was a sign for more gay people to come out. Now, people know Barack Obama used affirmative action, and that's also why it's okay for black people to use it, because the first black president did. Finally, what is the definition of unpatriotic? Not enthusiastically supporting one's country and its way of life. Obama claims Bush was unpatriotic for creating $10 trillion in debt. Military personnel defend this country with their lives, so if you happen to inconvenience the lives of military personnel in any way, you are also inconveniencing the country's way of life. Never in the history of presidency has the U.S. president ever put himself above the military. Army wedding moved for Obama's golf game. It was emotional, especially for her. She's the bride, and in less than 24 hours, they had to change everything. President's apology. That is such an inconvenience. Not only is that the perfect example of being unpatriotic, it's also ironic because liberals trip all over themselves saying, oh, these illegal children are here and their parents aren't. They jump all over themselves to get illegal families together, and here's Obama delaying the start of a brand new family. Disrespectful fucker. Okay, Officer Darren Wilson had to step down because an apology for shooting drugged up thief Michael Brown wasn't good enough. Why aren't you stepping down, Obama? Hypocrite. I know. If you had a son, he would have interrupted the wedding too. You phony. Just to think, we have to deal with 2 more years of this Muslim terrorist, socialist, communist, Kenyan, Hawaiian, Indonesian, dog-eating, anti-American faggot.